Hi, I'm Cindy. I garden in the Hudson Valley, New York, Zone 7, and it's late August here, so I wanted to show you what's still going for it and things that are just coming into bloom, because it can be a tricky time late in the summer to have your garden just still exploding with color. So I'm hoping this gives you some ideas. I also like to always start in my deer resistant garden because I know a lot of you deal with deer pressure, and there are many flowers you can have that the deer won't bother, so it'll give you some ideas. And if you need more ideas, I do have a free guide, 26 ultra deer resistant plants. They're plants that I have tested that the deer don't touch in my garden. So if you want to pick that up, I'll link it in the description. Enjoy. The lavender is putting on a second flush, or getting ready to. The Millennium Allium is in full bloom. I plan on dividing this one and spreading it. Since it's an onion, you don't have to worry about the deer touching it at all. They have no interest in it. The bee balm is going to seed, but you can see we're going to get some more blooms where I clipped it. So that'll be nice to have a later show. The Concord grapes are ripening. They're looking a little worse for wear, I'm sure due to the spotted lanternfly. The Rebecca natita is this big tall one here. I just gave it a really nice deadhead, so we're gonna have a second flush soon. You can see it's all budded up. This is a great one. The deer, they take a bite here or there. They really don't like it. So this is a winner if you're looking for a deer resistant plant that has some nice height to it. And the seed heads, I left up the ones on top because the birds do like them. Here I have a Russian sage that gets too much shade, gets shade from the grapes and from the clematis, so I'll be moving that in the spring. Some Dusty Miller, the deer don't touch this one. Rosemary that's getting swallowed by the bee balm, and this is rosemary from last year. This is my first year trying to winter over rosemary, and we did have a cold winter, but it seemed to hold up. I think it might be because we're here against the driveway, so it doesn't get too wet. Because when things get cold and wet, usually that's a recipe for them not to come back if they're marginally hardy in your area. The bee balm, I'm really happy with what it did. I never cut it back, so it got tall and lanky and it fell over, but it's shooting up new growth, making it look very bushy. So that'll be great when we have all those blooms close to the ground. The golden smoke bush is lightening up nice. Our wagon planter with the vinca vine is doing great here. The deer have not touched it. This silver lining artemisia, I'm not in love with. I've had to cut it back a couple times already. It looks like I should probably cut it back again. It starts getting lanky, and then it does get new growth at the base, but I don't really love plants that I have to cut back multiple times in a year unless they're really special, and I just don't think it's that special. I think I could just as easily stick a few Dusty Miller there, which is in the same family. The yucca is doing good. The Gara the deer are letting me have after they pruned it, so that's a semi-deer resistant one. The Russian sage is in full bloom. I have one on each end of this road garden. I'm really glad I did that. Kind of ties it all together. The kaleidoscope butterfly bush has put on some nice height this year. It's called kaleidoscope because it has all these different colors. The anise hyssop is doing great. I'm gonna let that spread a little more, yank less of it out, because it is such a great filler and the bees love it. The hummingbirds too. The echinacea, I never got around to spraying. This is the time of year, we're in late August right now, the deer will let you have it. They just don't have much interest in it. Once it gets more mature, it's woodier and it just doesn't taste great to them. But the bees absolutely love it. And the butterflies. I've seen monarchs at echinacea a lot this year. You can see the helenium that's planted on the other side of the fence. That's a new one to me this year. It's a tall native variety, but I'm really happy with how that's looking next to this magenta colored butterfly bush with the yellow, and it ties into the yellow of the Rebecca natita. So that was a happy accident because I wasn't even thinking about that. And then you have the orange in the background of the teddy dahlia. It's just nice when things work out. And this storm cloud Amsonia, I'm so happy with. I don't think I have any nibbles from the deer that I can see, and I haven't sprayed it at all. Looking forward to seeing the flowers in the spring that are blue. The true blue butterfly bush is doing excellent. I gave it some deadheading. You don't have to deadhead your butterfly bushes, but they do perform a lot better if you do. It is worth it to go in there and cut off the spent blooms once in a while if you have time, because when you clip the brown off, it just looks so much better, number one, but it also gives the plant energy to keep on producing blooms for you into the fall. The Medusa allium is starting to come into bloom. This is a new one to me. And the golden catmint is doing well. What's that on it? Oh, we have a little moth on it. Interesting. Let me know in the comments if you know what kind of moth that is. A lot of times moths get a bad rap because there are many that are pests in the garden, but a lot of moths are good. They're another pollinator. This is interesting. This anise hyssop is looking much darker. I wonder if those were golden ones I put in, because I did plant golden ones from seed last year, so that makes sense. So this is the Golden Jubilee anise hyssop, and then you have the native one, which you can see the bees are all over this one. Usually the native varieties have the most pollen. Yeah, this one they're going nuts for. So I think this is the one that I'm gonna spread. And I'm gonna put in a new deer resistant garden in an area that's just grass right now. So that'll be fun to experiment with some new things too. This smoke bush is doing very well. It's its first year here. I did put a rock down because there was a branch that was hanging so low. I figured why not try and propagate it. So we'll see if we get a new smoke bush there next year. Pomelo is putting on another bloom. In this ornamental grass planted itself, it's very happy there. I'm not super happy with how it's swallowing the Russian sage, so I'll probably move that. But from here you can see how the two Russian sage really kind of cap off this road garden. I'm really happy with that. The Cleome I'm letting go to seed because I want a lot more of that. It's another one, it's 100% deer resistant. You can see one in here that's in full bloom. It's such an interesting flower. And I have a rosemary down there. And this is my bird bath slash deer waterer. And I put the rock in there because the bumblebees tend to drown. And when I have a rock in there, I don't find any dead bumblebees. The obedient plant, this is my later blooming one. It's coming into bloom. The hummingbirds love that one. You can see all the buds. And the Amsonia could probably use some more room. I think I'm going to address that, do some shifting, either in the fall or the spring. The Joe Pye weed is doing excellent, but it is kind of swallowing the Amsonia. So I think I'm going to give that a new home. The Liatris got too much shade here. Another one that's going to get a new home. I'll probably put that in the new deer resistant garden because it gets a lot of sun, where I'm going to show you. The Conocloa has been kind of struggling here. It's a dry shade area, so I think I might move that one as well. Ligularia, same thing, really suffering here. Even though I do water it, I don't know what the deal is, but it has not been happy here. Panicum is beautiful right now, putting on a show with its seed heads. The lamb's ear has filled out, really narrowing the path in here. And this is self-sown kale, just seeds, I think, from the compost pile. Oh, and I have honey nut squash growing in here. Just kind of squeezed it in. That's nice. If you don't have enough room for butternut squash, it's a smaller option. There's one hiding in the rosemary that the deer might not find. And then in between I have potatoes growing and then the raspberries. So I try and squeeze a lot in my small area, make the most use of the space. You can see I have the squash growing up the compost pile. And then in here I squeezed in some cucumbers. We had some of those the other day. They're so good. I don't remember the variety. It was seeds I had saved, but it looks like some sort of English cucumber. Really nice and long. There's another one right in here. Then you can see the little path. You have the Rebecca that the deer seem to be leaving alone, so that's nice. The Gara, they're letting me have here because they come through this path. This Brunnera is struggling. It's an interesting one I picked up this year, but it's its first year, so I think it just needs to get established and it'll come back better next year. This little Joe Pieweed is so happy in its spot. I'm going to leave that right there because you can see the other one I have right here, which I've showed you in previous tours. It's just struggling. I don't know why. Maybe it doesn't get quite enough sun. Maybe the deer are eating it? I don't know. It doesn't look like it though. I don't see any deer bites. I see insect damage. So I'm thinking it just needs more sun because right now you can see it's in full shade, but that one's getting some nice sun. This butterfly bush I just deadheaded, so it's getting ready to put on another show. You can see all the buds. This one has had lots of butterflies on it. So I'm happy about this area because in the last tour I mentioned how I hate this area. I just can't seem to get it together. But I picked up this bench and I think this is going to help me with this area a lot because the plan is to take that bench, which is so cute, and center it. I think what this shade garden needs is some symmetry. So I'm going to take the bench either in the fall or the spring if I don't get to it. So the bench is going to go in the middle there. That peony is going to move to the right. So I'll have a peony on each side of the bench, and whatever else I can, I'm going to just cut in half and just make it a mirror image on each side of the bench. And I think that's just going to give me the formality I want, just a place of just kind of peacefulness to rest your eye, because I have a lot of chaos in these gardens, which I love, but I think I just really want a symmetrical area, which I usually don't crave symmetry, but I do here. This I'll move. This is a spirea that the deer really don't let me see any blooms from. This is Stilby clump. I can easily divide in half. I can easily divide this pulmonaria in half. I can move this weigela somewhere else. Even the ghost fern I could divide in half. I could even divide this goat's beard in half. And I'm gonna probably leave this here because it's so happy. I think it doesn't have to be completely symmetrical. We'll see. And this is a houseplant. This is coming in anyway. And the ostrich fern can stay in the corner. But anyway, that's my thoughts for that corner. Here's the golden cone juniper. It's golden in the spring. Really loving that in that corner. This 9 bark has gotten annihilated by the deer. I haven't sprayed it, but I'm not too worried about it. I can't worry about it. What's the point? Here's a baby Joe or little Joe Pieweed that planted itself. Yeah, the window boxes are looking so much better. I picked up some new plants for them. This new ivy geranium, amazing. I picked it up in this tiny little 4-inch pot and it was just huge right out of the pot. So really excited to winter that over and take some cuttings. And I got a Mandeville. And I cut back the Supertunia jazzberry. Wasn't sure if it was gonna flush out again, if it would like that, but it did. It looks way better. So this area I mentioned in the last tour, I'm going to bring in some soil, regrade it, pull everything out, put some new stuff in. So that'll be exciting. And then this area, not too much new is going on. Coneflowers are going to seed, so we've been seeing the goldfinches go after them like crazy. The sedum is in bloom. This is an interesting one. I've taken cuttings of that and spread that throughout the garden. This has been a really hot spot for the butterflies and the hummingbirds. They love this dwarf butterfly bush. This 9-bark, yeah, the deer have been leaving alone, so they don't seem to come in this area anymore. The golden mop false cypress looks so good next to that 9-bark. I'm really happy with that. And the boxwood, having the green there. I could use something blue in this corner. The Joe Pye weed's not super happy here. It always flops. So this is the area right here. This is the area right here where I want to make a little deer-resistant garden. So I think I'm going to move the Joe Pye weed over there. It gets a lot more sun. The Fire Chief Arborvitae is doing excellent. It doesn't mind the drip from the air conditioner, and that's why I have all these little weeds here, because there's always moisture. And I added another Mr. Bowling Ball Arborvitae, which has been completely deer resistant in the road garden. So they were on sale half price. So now I'm filling in with evergreens so that we can cover this ugly foundation wall. So I'll probably move this echinacea and pick up some more evergreens for here. And I had moved this Raingold Arborvitae because it was getting annihilated by the deer in the road garden, but they're letting me have it over here. It's really moist back here, so it seems a lot happier. So we'll see. It's supposed to get 5 foot tall. And this normally the deer wouldn't let me have, but they haven't noticed it this year. I've never gotten to see the blooms on it. It's just lily turf grass. And we'll show you the cottage garden soon. Got some lamb's ear here, so that's the first start of this garden. And then I picked up some wood little by little for the chicken run. That's exciting. We're going to build a covered chicken run very soon here. So we've got the fenced in garden. This Mademoiselle Rose has never gotten this tall. I'm wondering if it's because it's the first year I fertilized it. I used rose tone on it, which I don't know if I'm going to do again because my dogs were eating it, and that scares me because I don't think they're supposed to eat that. So I might have to use something liquid next year, even though it worked great. I gave the comfrey a cut back and it bounced right back in like a few days. So I have this all mulched with comfrey. And this is a narrow version of the black lace elderberry. It only gets 2 to 4 feet wide and 6 to 8 feet tall. So I thought this would be a nice screen. I'm trying to work on that. Like screening our cars, just kind of making it tucked in back here. I forget the name of this coneflower. Basically, when I see one I don't have, I just get it. That was a fun one of these double scoop varieties. And a Mr. Bowling Ball Arborvitae I didn't have a spot for, so I just stuck it in here. But I want to put it in that area where we're going to regrade it. And this golden rod, don't pick up the weeds off the side of the road and plant them in your garden because they are a weed. They are super invasive, but this is a cultivar, so it's not supposed to be invasive. I was still a little wary of it, so that's why I planted it right next to the driveway so it couldn't do too much spreading. And I am definitely gonna not put the seed heads in my compost. I'm gonna throw those out, but that's supposed to be a very good pollinator plant, so I stuck that in. And this green stalk planted itself, so that was nice. I didn't have to do anything. We've got some Verbena bonariensis in there, Indian Summer Rebeckia, and I put a red ivy leaf geranium in there because it was in the window box and it was clashing, but back here it looks fine. And this is, I think, Berrylicious, something berry, the Proven Winners hibiscus. So that's supposed to get 4 or 5 feet tall. So I thought that dark color would look really good next to the pussy willow. And we have all the yarrow that's taking a while to rebloom. Okay, and here's some newbies I got. Lowe's is having their $5 Labor Day sale, so I picked up some coreopsis. This echinacea, which is an interesting double. It's a Monrovia Sunseeker Sweet Fuchsia. If I could talk. Sunseeker Sweet Fuchsia Coneflower. And then this red one. I like having red in the shade garden. What is this called? Some Magic Vintage Hot Red. I got this one at Walmart. Someone left me a comment, stop shopping at Walmart. I don't know what they meant by that. If the plants are bad there, they just hate Walmart. I'm not sure. And then little blue stem. It's another Walmart find. I don't think I have a little blue stem. See how it turns purple in the fall? Standing Ovation. And a white obedient plant, which I think I have bought in the past and it disappeared. So I'm going to try it again because I really like obedient plant. Some people say it's invasive. It's not true in my area. It just drops seeds, right where the plant is, and then you can spread those around wherever you want. They don't go everywhere unless you spread the seeds everywhere on purpose. And I picked up this new butterfly bush. I wish you could smell it. The color looks like lilac, but it smells like lilac. It doesn't even advertise that on the tag. It's called Monarch Glass Slippers. I'm just so happy with that. It's supposed to get 4 feet wide, but only like 3 feet tall. So I think I'm going to plant it right there because we decided we're going to get rid of the lawn because our lawn is just weeds. It's like really bad. You can see all the seeds, the crabgrass. So maybe if I didn't have all of that there, I'd have less weed pressure eventually. I know it's going to take a while for all those seeds to die, but that's the plan. So we might get some wood chips in and just smother the grass. So I'll take you in this fenced-in garden. More echinacea going to seed, so we've been seeing our goldfinches like crazy. It's so cool looking too. It's so nice to have a flower that you don't have to deadhead at all. Ageratum. Feverfew is putting on its second flush. The Baptisia I'm leaving up because it might have butterfly eggs on it. It's called the Baptisia something butterfly. So I don't know. I don't see anything. Yeah, what I might do is just look at each one and make sure I don't see any eggs and start clipping it because the birds can't get to their bird bath. I am in love with this Royal King dahlia. It's so short and it's such a pretty color. It just sits so nice in the garden. Nice and bushy. We have kind of a mishmash in here. You can see a tomato that planted itself, coral nymph salvia that also planted itself. And we have Dara, another dahlia. And this spirea wants to put on another show, I noticed. So I started deadheading it because it's putting on, this would be its third show because it's putting on new growth. So you can see right there. The Verbena bonariensis looks so nice and airy in here. That came back on its own. Oh, and the Baptisia has put on new growth, the one that I cut back. Oh, that's a good sign. This is a James Galloway rose. It looks like it's getting ready to put on quite a show. Oh, the Concord grape smells so good. Some Cleome. Take you back this way. Oh, and this is called Mountain Mint. This is a native I just picked up. So I'm going to pop this in the ground hopefully today. American Mountain Mint. Picanthium flexosum. an Appalachian mountain mint. So, yeah, here's the thing about natives. When you see U.S. native, it's not necessarily native to your region. You want to try and get things that are native to your region if that's what you're going for. I mean, I plant things from all over the world. I'm fine with that, but I'm trying to add more natives, to get the actual local plants that the insects rely on. But, I'm not you can see, I'm not strictly native plants because that would just look a little weedy and that would be too limiting. So I have the 9-bark back there. I think that's the fireside 9-bark. And the Cleome I deadheaded is getting to put on another show. So that's exciting. This is a sunflower from Sunflower Steve, so we'll see if that's a fancy one. If you don't know, he's a grower that grows really fancy sunflowers. And then the tansy is in full bloom. I cut this one back hard and you can still see how tall it gets and it still flops. So that one's a bit of a challenge and it does like to spread around. I wouldn't call it invasive, but it is easy enough to pull out the little plants that you don't want. And the clematis is blooming again, which is nice. I should probably get you a shot from the other side, but there we go. Oh yeah, and I don't know, sorry, I hope I'm not making you dizzy. I don't know if I showed you this one. Yeah, so both of these rebloom a little bit in the fall. You can see there's more buds coming. So that's exciting. Oh, and the calendula is putting on another show. Did I cut this one back or is this just a later? I think that's just a later one. Another native anise hyssop, you can see it has the darker leaves. Yeah, I think I like the native one better. Because if you look at the golden one, it kind of looks sickly to me. I love Teddy Dahlia. If you ever see Teddy in the store, pick one up. And I'm here in zone 7. It's been coming back reliably for me. You can't trust it. I might take some cuttings this year and winter over that way, because I really don't want to dig up any dahlias this year. And the peppers are doing very well. This is Cubanelle right here. This is the time of year for peppers in New York. September, October. It takes a long time. These are called Bolt. Interesting. There's a ripe one. And I don't know if any of these are coloring up yet. I have like a yellow one and a chocolate one, different color bell peppers, but no, they're all still green. And this was Molly. Molly likes to yank off pepper plants. You can see a Cornell dahlia hiding in here. That's a nice one. Super long vase life, as far as dahlias go anyway, because they don't have a long vase life. Not happy with my vanilla strawberry hydrangea. The blooms are turning brown. So I think this needed to be watered and I just didn't know it. We had quite a dry spell. We had a wet spring, but then kind of a dry period lately. I'm really happy with these foxgloves. These are apricot foxgloves that planted themselves, so those will bloom next year. I was going to thin them out, but I decided to just not worry about it and just step where I need to step. So you can see I kind of stomped out a path, and that was easier than anything else. Raspberries are starting to flush out again. They're so yummy. Swiss chard is doing good. I recommend Swiss chard. Kale is kind of a pain. I had to pull out a lot of my kale because it got full of bugs, but the Swiss chard they pretty much leave alone. This is my trap crop of Brussels sprouts for the grapes. These are the Catawba grapes. The spotted lanternfly are kind of making me want to take them out because they just don't look pretty. I should put a clip up of what these looked like last year. They're They're just looking sickly, and it's got to be all these guys. They just hang out here and do their damage. There's another one. And you're supposed to come out here with a shop vac. People have been telling me, I don't want to do that. It's bad enough, you have to vacuum your house. Now you got to vacuum your garden. This ageratum got so nice and tall. And these cosmos planted themselves. It's so nice when you don't get around to something and it just happens anyway. And a couple different colors came back, so that's nice. These look so good together. Because you've got the pink edging on this one, and then that one's hot pink. And I think this is Labyrinth. Sorry, I don't have a nice bloom to show you right now. Forget what that one's called. And the tomatoes are doing okay over here. I lost a couple that produced early on and then kind of fizzled out. This is Bumblebee. They're kind of green right now, but they're a yellow. And then this is Jersey Breeze. They're kind of in between flushes right now. We picked some red ones and now they're all green. But yeah, it's looking really full, really happy in this garden. Here's a big clump of ageratum. That's a really fun flower. It's supposed to be deer resistant too. I haven't tried that one. I'll have to try that one where the deer can get it. I don't know what color these cosmos are going to be because they self-sowed, but I just moved them over here. And you can see the bee bombs going to seed, but then we're going to get another flush because we pruned it in June. Is this the same? I had tags in here. That looks different. Oh. All right, what's our tag say? Oh, Royal King. Oh, so that's another Royal King. Interesting. Doesn't that look a little different? And it's taller. Well, it is pretty. An eggplant. Jupiter's beard is trying to bloom again since I deadheaded it. We've got the pink and the white. Listata eggplant, that's a fun one. Try and grow fun ones. If you're planting from seed, might as well grow some pretty ones. Oh, that's interesting. What this echinacea's doing. I'm sure it's some sort of deformity or disease. Interesting. Let me know if you know what this is called, this issue. Victoria Blue Salvia. I think I'm going to save seeds from this year. This one planted itself. Look how much the bees love it. It's so pretty too to have that pop of purple in here. I only had to cut it back once and I got this beautiful new flush. And these are little peppers that I'm so glad I planted because when Molly really wants a pepper, there's plenty of peppers. So I just grab her one and she kind of will leave my bell peppers alone. These are called Pippin. I got them from Baker Creek. They look like a hot pepper, but they're not. They're just a sweet pepper. And I'm letting the blue fama and the white fama scabiosa go to seed because I want more seeds. And the seeds are so expensive. You only get like 10 seeds in a pack usually. But you can see, and some of these are already dropping, which is fine. But I do want to come out here and catch some. Okay, let's go in the back. This garden is so full. So full. So happy with it. Really I just want to make it bigger. It is feeling a little crammed, so I think it would help to make it bigger. You can see the perennial sunflower, how happy they are. These got to cut back, but you can see how tall they get, even with that cut back. The bumblebees are just so excited about them. Look at that, 3 on 1 flower. And the obedient plant, you can see how well, because this was completely done blooming, so I cut off all the spent blooms and now it's producing more. It is so good at reflowering if you are on top. It can be hard to deadhead it because the bees keep going for it, but you just got to remember there's plenty of food in your garden for the bees, and for the long term, it's better for them. Because they'll have more in the long run. 9 bark. Got our Indian summer that crossed with something else, because you see it has this pretty red center in the petals. All these Rebecca planted themselves, so it's really nice to have some fresh ones because they do get tired, and then you don't have to feel bad about pulling them out of the ground because you have more coming. This penstemon has a really pretty seed head. Verbena bonariensis stuck in there. That rose is so happy. It put on so much height. I didn't realize how much it's flushing out again. That's a knockout rose. This echinacea is always a hot spot for the goldfinches. I gotta set up the camera so I can catch them. Got some Heliopsis that comes back every year. The calla lilies are done blooming, but their foliage adds so much. So pretty. I love this spotted one. The Dusty Miller gives you a nice pop of silver in there. And you can see some of these Rebecca that I should yank out. Like this one's looking funny. It's doing kind of what that echinacea was. You can see all the ones that self-sowed. I just left them in there kind of as a mulch. And this is Mauritana hollyhock that planted itself. I wasn't sure. I thought this was going to be one of the yellow ones I had here. This is a great one. It will bloom for you the first year, but if you plant it this time of year, you'll get a nice tall one like this next year. More obedient plant. The bloom flowers are still going. I have been deadheading them. It's a bit of a chore, but I don't mind because that's a tall one, so I don't even have to bend. Rosemary, flushing out nice. Little miniature rose I got from ShopRite is doing very well. Alyssum, working great as a ground cover. All the less I have to mulch. The black-eyed Susans help fill it in. This little willow tree is doing okay in this spot. I've just been sure to keep it watered. Those apricot hollyhocks are about done. So I'm going to be collecting seed from them. The Glamour Girl phlox is going again because I deadheaded it. Next year I'm going to take some cuttings in spring and spread that around. I love that phlox. It blooms for so long. It's such a pretty color. It doesn't get powdery mildew, even when it's crowded like that. This peachy knockout rose is doing so well, and I was getting ready to pull it out because it gets so much damage from the spongy moth caterpillar in the spring. They really like this one. It must smell good to them or something. But I think it was worth it because now look how happy it is, how glossy the foliage is. It's so pretty. And the bees love it. Coral nymph salvia, black elephant ear, and blue suede shoes. I bought this plant on clearance. It wasn't doing anything and it finally shot up some bloom stalks, so that's fun. I might try and winter this one over in the greenhouse because I have heard it's really just when they get cold and wet. As long as you keep them dry, you might be able to keep them. That's what they do in England. Anyway, more perennial sunflower. The coral knockout rose is putting on another show. You can see all the buds. That's such a great one. If you ever see that one in the store, coral knockout, I highly recommend that one. Pretty color. It always, it gets black spot, and I always think it's dying in the spring, and then it does this. I just cut it back hard and it comes back with a vengeance. I love this dark sedum. I want to take cuttings of this too. Next to this limelight hydrangea, little lime. It's putting on its pink color. See, this is what your hydrangea should look like. It shouldn't turn right to brown. This one is such a great performer. Really happy with this. And the Golden Tower elderberry, I did some serious pruning on because it was kind of swallowing everything around it. And then I had to remind myself of what is the purpose of it. And the purpose was for a screening plant. So I took off everything that was pretty much just going horizontal, and I have some temporary staking going on with Velcro to kind of keep everything upright because I want it tall. I have that cisterna plum tree next to it, so that should provide some nice screening. And then that lilac got a severe pruning, and that's why it's so short now, but that will shoot up. So I really need to fill in this area. So if you have any ideas, I like to plant a lot of things, so I don't want space hogs. I was thinking maybe a hydrangea tree right there. They have the little, not the little lime, they have the limelight hydrangea trees, they have the pinky winky, firelight trees I saw. I don't know if they get tall enough. I should probably be looking for things 10 to 12 feet tall. I was even thinking of maybe a Japanese maple, but I don't know, I might get too much sun right here. Coffee cup elephant ear is doing so good right here. We have our drainage pipe right here, so it gets plenty of water. I bring in that one as a house plant. And these elephant ear, I don't know what these are called with the pretty dark veining, but I'm gonna bring them in as house plants this year. This is the best that plant has done for me. Some more black-eyed Susans. I think this might be the Autumn Joy sedum. It's starting to put on some color. The bees are loving it. The bees are just loving this whole area. There's so many bees in this garden. It's unbelievable. Blue Bunny hydrangea, kind of a big flop this year. I'll show you. I'll see if I can put on some footage of what this looks like in a good year where it gets the right amount of rain. You can see it's just brown. These just started blooming, and I already have all this brown. In a good year, this looks like sparkles. It's just beautiful. But the bees don't seem to mind. They're happy with it. I am not happy with it. Look at how brown that one is. I'm not distraught over it or anything. It's just a disappointment. This hippo plant I'm so happy with. I planted these from seed. You can keep them as a house plant, but they work great as an annual. If you start them early, I think I started them in February or March under grow lights, and they make a great shade plant. You can see how big they get. So I think instead of from seed, I'm gonna bring some in and I'm gonna try propagating from cuttings and see how that goes. Have a cardinal flower there. This white rose is putting on another show. Oh, hot lips is blooming. This is a fun shade plant. Toad lily is getting ready. You can see it's budding up. Oak leaf hydrangea is looking pretty sad, but this is its first year. So I'm hoping it'll look better next year. Unless it just doesn't like this spot. We'll see. I have some new ferns I put back here. They're struggling, but I think they're just trying to get established. I've been trying to shoot some water back here. Ghost fern. I think that one's leatherwood. And this phlox is a good one. I don't know the name of this one, but it does keep blooming if you deadhead it. A Jacob's ladder. pelarmonium, and our Japanese anemones. This is like my #1 fall bloomer. If you don't have this in your garden, if you have a part sun to shade area, they are great. They do spread. Some of them spread super aggressively. This is Fall in Love Sweetly anemone, and I forget the name of this one, but they don't spread crazy aggressively. I think they spread nicely. I would like to add them more to the back there where there's not a lot of things do good there because it's dry shade, and I think these are tough. I don't think they would mind it even in the drier conditions back there. So they spread underneath by their roots. Some balloon flower back here, a shorter variety with big flowers next to the Brunnera. The hostas are flowering. The hummingbirds have been going for them. Oh, speaking of hummingbirds, maybe I'll take you backwards. Usually I take you the other way in the shade garden. So I have this new hummingbird feeder that was sent to me as a gift, and I am really happy with it. So the reason I was okay with them sending it, because people offer me kind of a lot of things, and a lot of them are junky. I don't accept junky things, but I was interested in this because it has a perch. And the hummingbirds, I'm gonna try to get them on camera. I gotta set up my camera. They love to take a break. They rest right here on the perch and they suck it down. They've been really guzzling it lately. Now they fight over it. So hummingbirds, they can obviously drink in midair, but they like to take a break. So if you do want to get a hummingbird feeder, I recommend find one that has a perch. I'll link this one in the description. I'm really happy with it. It's nice quality. A lot of it is metal. This is metal, I think. I think the bottom is plastic, but yeah, really happy with it. Good capacity. I think I fit about 4 cups of liquid in there. But this shade garden has come in nice. It's been really dry. I put this Japanese anemone in. It's a white one, a new one to me. And the Terenia I planted from seed, the bees are enjoying. This bottle brush plant just completely died this year. I've had it for years. I don't know what the deal is. If something was eating it, if it was just too dry for it this year. No, it wasn't that dry this year. A Japanese Sun King is flowering. Got some more hostas in bloom. Some in substance. Got Betty in there. You can tell it's been dry. The astilbes, they just crisp up. This geranium just keeps going. I always forget the name of it. It's got turtle in the name. I'll put it on the screen because if you see this one, you should get it. This is a great one. It just keeps blooming, blooming, blooming. It starts off in the spring kind of like taller and bushy, and then it just spreads out as a nice ground cover as the season progresses. I'm really happy with my rose begonia planter. I've just been careful not to overwater it. I just water it every few days and it's gotten huge. And this great blue lobelia patch, I have a couple of them, I'm also really happy with. You can see the bees are really happy with them. So that's a great one that spreads around by seed. I started it from seed originally. It takes a while to get going, but once you have it in your garden, you're never going to need to plant it again. Bleeding Hearts Heliopsis. Watermelon double scoop echinacea. I should deadhead that. Some impatiens I planted from seed. And this is a blood-good Japanese maple. I might put it there. I'm not 100% sure where I want to put it. I got it half price for $40, so that was a great find. Because usually when I see Japanese maples, they're at least $100, sometimes hundreds. Some Heliopsis, I planted bare root. Little lanky. I think it's not getting enough sun here. Or maybe it just needs a cut back. Another Japanese Sun King. Cafe au lait needs deadheading. Some echinacea, more perennial sunflower. This is kind of dahlia corner that's not staked well. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to keep this dahlia corner. I think this might be a nice spot to put sunflowers. I don't know. Let's see what we decide next year. Roseanne geranium. An interesting hosta I picked up this year. Some more Verbena bonariensis, lemony lace elderberry, geum is filling out nice, no flowers, but definitely reflushed its leaves. And the peony is doing good, no powdery mildew this year, because I really do love peony foliage. And our rose tree is flushing out again, which is nice. It gives such a nice pop of color in this corner. And the black-eyed Susans are doing good. Yeah, it seems to be the spotted lanternfly that are the reason that a lot of the leaves turn black, and they're not really in this corner. I haven't seen any over here, so that's nice. This variegated Joe Pye weed is such a pretty one. It gives some nice height. I don't mind putting tall things in the front. I think it makes things interesting. A lot of people will only put short things in the front. That's not a strict rule that you have to follow. Another interesting ivy geranium I just picked up. A variegated maroon, hot pink one. Oh, Betty, you thirsty? All right, let's see. Betty likes to drink out of the hose. She doesn't drink enough inside out of her bowl. I wish she would, because it's filtered water inside. This 9 bark is doing really good in this spot. It's nice when a plant really likes its spot. And window boxes. Got an overhaul over here. So the hummingbirds have been coming to this Terrenia. I mentioned I wasn't sure about this one. I saw the hummingbird this morning. It came to everything. The geranium, the terranium, the other geranium. This rose tree is looking a little sickly, but it's getting ready to put on a lot more flowers, so that'll be nice. This is an interesting echinacea that happened as a result of all my different echinacea. Some sort of hybrid. I really like this one. It comes back like this every year, so I want to divide it. It kind of looks like a cross between Echinacea purpurea and Echinacea pallida, and that might be exactly what it is. Because Echinacea pallida has kind of a similar structure as this, but a lot paler petals. Well, thanks for joining me today on this garden tour. It is just such a beautiful time of year. It's so nice to finally be able to breathe in the garden, and the weeds have slowed down. The days are getting shorter. The goldfinches are coming in. It's just so beautiful, and it's just such a great time to get into those projects I've been meaning to. My covered chicken run, turning the front lawn into a beautiful garden. So I'm going to take you along for all of that. Let me know what you have planned for your garden this year. I love hearing from you. And if you haven't already, pick up that free guide, 26 ultra deer resistant plants that you don't even have to spray. It is such a lifesaver, especially if you're just getting started gardening. It keeps you from getting discouraged, because getting a plant that says deer resistant and then taking it home and the deer gobbling it is just so defeating. I really wish I had something like that when I started gardening. So I hope it helps you out. Take care. Thanks for watching.